Welcome. You're listening to The Aligned Self, Conversations in Creating a Conscious and Abundant Life. This is Daniel DeNovi. I'll be your guide and host. Let's see just where we can take this. Hello, friend. This is a short promotional message for those of you that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, the first Sunday of every month, I lead a conversation that bridges the gap between science and spirituality in the DFW IONS, IONS Community Group. Now, IONS is an acronym for the Institute of Noetic Sciences. I lead a community group that meets locally here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I think there's 3 other groups in the area as well. But at last count, my group is the largest. It's been meeting the longest. And that's not through my effort. It was handed off to me about 8 years ago, and I just kept it going. And after the first of the year of 2022, we're going to be celebrating our 20th anniversary, even though the actual anniversary date was in 2020. We took a hiatus for obvious reasons. But you can find us on Facebook at the DFW IONS Community Group and on Meetup.com under DFW IONS. I'll have a link to both of those in the show notes. And if you're a member of our Facebook group, the Aligned Self Podcast Listeners Facebook group, I put a copy of the event there. And if you happen to listen or be a member of Majana Mason's Life After Life podcast, then you'll also find the event in her Facebook group. If you would like to meet Majana, she's a rock star. She plans on being at this presentation on December 5th. So what is this presentation? We are hosting Tricia Barker. Now, when Tricia was a senior in college down in Austin, Texas, she was in a horrific car accident on her way to a road race. She was running in a race. And the race was supposed to be symbolic of her emerging into a new level of life. Well, she was in an accident on her way to the race. She was still alive at the accident scene, broken back, broken neck, a number of other internal injuries. She ended up dying on the operating table and left her body. She actually left the building. But she's one of the rare people that has an insight or actually recall of circumstances that were going on outside the operating room, like out in the lobby. Now, it stands to reason that if you have some level of consciousness there, even though you code, like you're dead physically, your consciousness might be aware of some things going on inside the operating room. You might be able to glean or have a perspective. But when you can recall events that are happening outside the operating room, verifiable events, once you get back in your body, it's a whole different program. It's a whole different perspective. It lends a lot of credibility to Tricia's story of dying and coming back to life. Now, Tricia wrote a book called Angels in the OR. It's available on Amazon and as an audiobook on Audible. She's been on a variety of TV shows, which has featured her story of her near-death experience and the resulting lessons that she gleaned from that. And she does have a particular message to tell us all. What the purpose of life is, how important love and contribution is. What's it like to die? I think she has a very important message to share. She feels she has an important message to share. I consider Tricia a friend, even though we've just met a couple times. I was first made aware of her when a speaker of IONS, Janice Holden, she was the president of IONS for a period. She also is the editor of 20 years of research in near-death experiences. IONS is the International Association of Near-Death Studies, and Tricia has been a featured speaker at the conferences. And not only is she a teacher, in fact, she's a college teacher, a teacher of English. She does and has mastered the English language, which I'm still working at. But she's a college teacher. But in addition to that, she teaches people about creative writing and psychic ability. A consequence of dying and coming back to life is that you have increased psychic awareness. She's also a healer. So Long story short, there's more I could talk about, but if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, come out and visit us on December 5th at the Center for Spiritual Living, Dallas. Now, we rent a space there, $5 admission at the door to help pay the rent, but it's at 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon on December 5th, Sunday, December 5th. The information's in the show notes, and if you want to learn more about Tricia Barker, you can go to TriciaBarkerNDE.com. Near-death experience. TriciaBarkerNDE.com. And again, her link, that link will be in the show notes. And I almost forgot, Tricia also has a YouTube channel that she features, different things that she talks about, but she also interviews other people that have had near-death experiences. In fact, once a year, she has an online conference where she has a number of speakers that she features that talk about their experience and their insights after their near-death experience. Well, I could talk a lot about Tricia and near-death experiences in general, but if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, come out, meet Majana, meet me. We'll hang out afterwards for a little bit, but you can meet Tricia and hear all about her near-death experience and the lessons it taught her about life. Until next time, this is Daniel Denovi urging you to follow your bliss and live your life from inner signals. And by all means, live the epic adventure.